all ever had to deal with some sly-ass comments but didn't really know how to deal with it or get into it? Well, let's unpack that. Hey everyone! I'm Fred.
I'm Heidi.
I'm Rebecca.
And we're the Spaces Media Team! Today we're going to go over microaggressions, and we're going to go into like what they are exactly and kind of how you can navigate your way through them.
What are microaggressions? Microaggressions are everyday slights, indignities, put-downs, and insults against marginalized groups, but often happen without the intention of hurting or harming the person targeted. Although sometimes harm can be intentional, they aren't always verbal. Sometimes it can even be physical movements, such as moving away from someone the second they sit down next to you because they're from a particular group. It is essentially a way of revealing implicit biases. So what's the difference between microaggressions and insensitive, rude comments and actions? The key difference is that microaggressions are directed at a marginalized group who are subject to stereotypes or discrimination. Microaggressions exist in the guise of a compliment meant to set the individual apart from the stereotype, but in actuality are a painful sting and crude reminder of the stereotype itself. They are different from overt racism and discrimination because they aren't meant to have a negative impact, but they do. And so people who engage in microaggressions aren't aware that they are engaging with them.
So, how do microaggressions actually harm people? Well, research has shown that microaggressions, although they're seemingly small and sometimes innocent offenses, can take a real psychological toll on the mental health of their recipients. This toll can lead to anger and depression and can even lower work productivity and solving problems. Plus, they can affect a work or school environment, making it more hostile and less validating and perpetuate stereotype threat, which can negatively impact on confidence and achievement. None of this is hard to imagine if you simply consider how it would impact your life if you felt like you were subject to a constant stream of insults. We're always bracing for recovering from an offense. It's not about just being upset, though some researchers have found that microaggressions can even cause physical health problems. So, how do you handle microaggressions? Think about whether or not that person is worth talking to. A lot of times it's not necessary to be emotionally invested in someone because you don't have that sort of relationship.
Second, use the phrase, "What do you mean by that?" Give them the opportunity to explain themselves by subtly letting them know that something they said was out of pocket.
Lastly, understand that you are not responsible for educating others. It can be emotionally and physically taxing.
First and foremost, it's important that you recognize that no one is exempt from the possibility of engaging in microaggressions. And with that said, y'all need to make sure to check your privilege and place. But most importantly, think before you speak. Duh. In the following, here are a couple of steps provided by Vox so you can kind of know how to gauge your way in not engaging with microaggressions. So for the first one, be constantly vigilant of your own biases and fears. For the second one, make sure to seek out interactions with people who differ from you in terms of race, identity, culture, ethnicity, and other qualities that kind of distinguish y'all from each other. For the third one, don't be defensive, calm the fuck down, and relax a little bit. Listen. And for the fourth one, be open to discussing different attitudes and biases that you have from yourself and how they may have hurted others that are around you and who you've interacted with. And for the fifth one, be an ally of all forms of discrimination that are held against different communities that are around you. Thank y'all so much for keeping up and watching this video.
Make sure to keep up with everything Spaces related.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram accounts, and subscribe to our newsletter.
See y'all later!